So a quick summary of like what we're gonna do today. I'll quickly introduce you to my practice, what live coding even is. Firstly, can I get a little nod or a hand up if you've heard of live coding or you know what it is? Okay, not bad, not bad. And can I get a hand up if you've ever coded before? Okay, not bad either. No worries, no worries. Yeah, this workshop will be accessible to everyone at all levels. So don't worry if you've never coded anything. Hopefully by the end of this session, you have written a line or a loop of code that generates some kind of sound. Um, yeah, I hope that that's what happens. I reckon that will happen. I believe in you. Hey, Panda, welcome, welcome. Find a seat. Um, yeah, so quick intro. What's live coding? Like, why people even do it? What the vibes are overseas? Because it's quite new here, but it's sort of like an established thing overseas. And then we're just gonna get straight into it. Like, I don't know about how you guys learn, but I think I learn best by just doing the thing. So I'll share my screen, I'll share the program, and then, you follow along and yeah, ask me questions throughout. No question is a bad question. No sound is a bad sound. You know what I mean? All is welcome. Just ask. And honestly, questions like you're probably thinking of a question that someone else is thinking of. So it's helping everyone else if you actually ask me. Um, and then, yeah, we'll have a break in there somewhere. I'll see what the vibes are. But yeah, we'll definitely do a break based on how you're feeling. And then I think we're wrapping up about 9, but I'll leave some time for questions. So we'll actually stop doing stuff like 8:45 or something. How does that sound? Yeah, vibes. Good nods. There's some housekeeping. Yeah, this is Neil. Ooh. Oh, that's my hands. Oh, yes. So secure. Very good. Nice. Yeah, vibes. Okay. Cool. So quick intro to me. There's some familiar faces in the room, which is so nice. But if you don't know me, I'm Fetla, that's me. And I do some nerdy shit that's actually footage of me with the glasses and the hands. And I sing and my background is actually in science. So I did a science degree, and did maths, which actually looked like that because it was a struggle town. And then, yeah, I'm doing some music diploma study at the moment at TAFE, which is really fun. But I stumbled across live coding maybe in 2021. A friend of mine did like a group exhibition, and someone had like one line, okay, maybe a few lines of code that were quite simple. Um, and it was like producing such amazing ambient sound, and she was doing opera music on top of it. Shout out to Tash Atkins. And it was Sonic Pi. And at the time, I think I was finishing my degree or something, I don't remember. But I did like just an intro, like not hectic code at all. But it was just like, damn, this shit exists. It's crazy. So she told me what it was. I went home and Googled it, and it was Sonic Pi. And it just felt quite intuitive for me. So, because I did use Ableton and Logic and all the things, but I don't know, like Ableton, man, I don't know, does anyone else use Ableton? Yeah, some nods. So for anyone that didn't know, like Ableton's a DAW or digital audio workstation, and Sonic Pi is one as well. It just happens to be, you command it with code. But yeah, Ableton, you open that shit and there's no constraints. It can do anything, which is stressful if you're indecisive like me. I need constraints. And so that's why I like live coding. But yeah, I perform with it live. You can run your vocals through it. You can run MIDI through it. You can do all these things. But anyways, let's move on. That's me. So what is live coding? You know what? I'm going to full screen for this. Neil, how do I full screen? Double click? It should be like slide. Oh yeah, there we go. Nice. Sick. Okay. So what is live coding? It is writing and or manipulating code to generate some kind of sound or visuals. So there's heaps of live coders that work only with visuals. Shout out to those who use Hydra, which is this page. And there's heaps of programs. They're usually, I think, okay, maybe blanket statement, but I reckon they're all free and open source, which means anyone can contribute to the programming of that program, or like the making kind of thing. But basically, live coders expose and rewire the innards of software while it generates improvised music. And it's usually projected behind a performer, so you can see them manipulating code, which is really fun. And I think that also drew me to this practice, because I don't like being perceived, you know what I mean? So if people have a screen to look at while I do my little singy sing, it's great. There was like an organization called Top Lap, founded in 2004, about 20 years ago, and so they were like sort of the formal organization to promote this. But honestly, like, coding music is not new, and one of the first synthesized sounds ever was through code. So it's like quite a really old practice of computer music and music synthesis, but it's more of a movement now that spans across heaps of genres. It's really common to see live coded like dance music, and these events are usually called algo raves. So algorithm and rave put together. They did something with that. But yeah, there's some pictures here. It's usually fun and immersive, and yeah, definitely all genres, but you really do see a lot of dance music, which is cool. Oh, cool things. Where are they? I don't know why it doesn't show me. Okay, anyways, here are some cool things. I thought I would just, what's the thing? Like, start your appetite a little bit. Because there are really cool things happening here and overseas, but yeah, let me just show you. So this first one's from Roxanne Harris. She's like an amazing legend of Sonic Pi, I reckon. I really look up to her. She's based in New York. She's a black woman. Incredible. So this is a Tyler, the Creator remix. And she somehow synced sorry, I'm trying to get it. She synced the visuals somehow. She's a magician. But maybe I'll go like here.
Rapping as I'm on my death rock star. Aesthetic wigs, made and dreaded lock. Reptar. Rapping as I'm mocking death rock star. Aesthetic wigs, made and dreaded locks. Reptar. Rapping as I'm mocking rock stars. Aesthetic wigs made of and Reptar. Rapping as I'm mocking death rock wigs made of and dreaded. Reptar. Rapping up in my.
I just think that's lit. It's glitchy, but yeah, so cool. There's also another femme, DJ Dave from LA, I think. And this is their music there's like heaps of things you can do. That's all live coded, you know, and probably mixed in another DAW. But yeah, like generated through music or through Sonic Pi. And I just wanted to shout out live coding visuals. So there's something called Hydra. We're not gonna get into today. But I just think it's so cool. And this is the creator. Her name is Olivia. Olivia Jack, I'm pretty sure. And this is like one of her talks about...
Here, this is an ongoing thing, but
basically it's inspired by like an analog video synthesizer, which is super expensive and super cool. But she made it free and made it live in like a web page, which is crazy. Anyways, a little bit about that.
I kind of saw similarities between this image and this image on the right of, we have a bunch of things that we can interconnect with each other in lots of different ways. And so I became interested in using this thing, this is an analog video synthesizer. It's the Sandin image processor made by Daniel Sandin in 1971. And here what we have are these boxes. I'm sure a lot of people in this room know a lot more about modular synthesizers than I do, but we have these boxes, and each box does something to a signal. And then we have these cables where we can connect these boxes to each other, and the way in which the cables are connected transforms the signal in different ways, and changing those ways of connecting the boxes then creates different possibilities within the image over here. And so I started I'm going to play with the browser as if it were a modular synthesizer. And so this is using WebRTC, and all of these windows here are on the same computer, but they actually could be, one of these windows could be in China, one could be here, one could be on my phone. But this was just sort of, I don't really know why I'm interested in this. I'm interested in this. I'm going to play around by writing code to explore this idea. And so I just made code, I called it like RTC patch bay to just route WebRTC streams. And so here, there's the two streams on the left are being sent to this one over here where it's blending them together, and then these two, which is a camera feed, is being combined with that. And I just sort of did this as a proof of concept. And at that point, I didn't know really what I wanted to do with it. So rather than kind of make a user interface with knobs and sliders and buttons and decide this is what I'm going to be able to do and this is not what I'm going to be able to do, I just started playing with it directly in the browser console, writing code to interact with this thing and to say, oh, what can I do with this? And so that, yeah, and again, it's really inspired by this idea. And one of the things that Sandon said about the modules are designed to maximize the possibility of interconnection, thereby maximizing the number of possible modifications of the image.
Yeah. I just think that's cool. Is my mic working? Maybe. Yeah. I mean, I could project. Can everyone hear me? Yeah, cool. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. But yeah, I just think that's so cool. Like video synthesizers, analog ones are really expensive, and then, she just clearly researched quite deeply into them, and then made it accessible to everyone. And yeah, the writing of code as well to bypass making knobs and buttons, it's pretty cool, and it's like transferable to Sonic Pi. So instead of turning knobs and instead of clicking buttons, which is I like a knob and I like a button, you write code, and it's sort of like talking directly to the computer instead. So yeah, there's some more cool things. I'll send out these slides so you can like go into a YouTube hole if you'd like. But why live coding? I think I've sort of started, but I just think it's cool. It's also free and open source, yeah, everything's free. There's heaps of resourcing, and Sonic Pi actually was created to make coding accessible to primary schoolers. And that's why it's a bit more readable than other live coding programs. And yeah, I guess just the application of music. If you're learning code, you can hear the changes in the music, and that, is a easier thing to maybe conceptualize than just coding a thing because you're coding a thing. There's an online community of really helpful people. There's a lot of generative and randomization potential. By this I mean, at least I do live coding because I really like how you can randomize stuff and then you have a improv partner on stage. What else? Yeah, I like the constraints of it. It can't do everything, man. It really can't. But I think that makes for more creativity. And it has for me personally. And I hope, you like it too. But hey, if you don't, no stress, no stress. All right. So that's a little bit about it. And then I just thought we could get straight into Sonic Pi. But before then, there's a lot of peeps in the room. Maybe we do a little whip around and you tell us your name, pronouns, and yeah, what you're curious about today, about live coding, or like what you want to get out of this workshop. It'll be like 10 seconds, maybe, quick fire, but yeah, I do want to at least get people to share their names to other people here, because who knows what collabs could come out of this, what B2Bs, you know what I mean? So we'll start over here. Yeah. Yeah. Sick. Welcome. Jack? Do you say? Yeah. Welcome, Jack. Nice. Thanks, Chrissy. Yeah, nice. You're in the right place. Welcome. Mm. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah.
I'm Nick. I go by Ethan. I mostly do visuals, and yeah, I've messed around with Ableton a lot before, but had similar issues, so I'm excited to dive back into live coding.
Nice.
Hi, my name is Leah. I go by Leishi. I'm a musician. I use Ableton mainly. And yeah, I wanted to try live coding as a like sound design tool into like productions and stuff. But I'm just excited to explore it.
Welcome.
Hey, I'm Eva. I use she, they pronouns, and yeah, I make music on Ableton, and yeah, just interested in like sound design, particularly at the moment, and creating some like weird, wonky sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never coded before, so keen.
Cool.
I'm Jessie, I go she, her. I'm a visual artist. I just find it really interesting. I've done a little bit of like working with Touch Designer and stuff, and it's a different type of interface, but it's still the same kind of plugging in all in. I just find like new software is interesting.
Nice.
So give it a go.
Cool. Welcome to the nerddom.
I'm Max, I do, I guess, a lot of kind of multidisciplinary art, a lot of computer graphic stuff. Heaps of touch design, which, yeah, kind of similar. It's very similar concepts, I think, and lots of vibe coding. I know like a little bit of Python and do a bit of actual coding.
Yeah. Wait, did you say vibe coding?
Yeah.
I love that. That's so good.
Using large language models and stuff. So I like to use a lot of like open source ChatGPT. You can run off your own computer. Somewhat underwater.
Cool. Vibe coding.
It's just like, can you code this? And it does it.
Straight vibes.
I'm Jazz, I make music, and I'm here to hang out.
Yay! Love that.
I'm Amber, she, her. I don't know, similar to Christy, I saw you do it and I thought it looked cool.
Awesome. Welcome, Fadda.
I'm Elle. Yeah, I was just curious for a good introduction. Great job, Christy.
Cool. Welcome.
I'm Lara. I came to the live coding workshop. It sounds cool, but so many years ago. I learned super glad I loved it.
Oh.
But I don't know anything about SoundCloud, so I'm excited.
No worries.
Hey, my name's Tika, she, her. I'm coding every day. I'm
Hey!
an engineer and I'm a DJ. And I saw you at Next Wave, I think it was.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't understand why, what's going on. I was so obsessed with knowing. And I was freaking out when I saw this workshop. I was like, finally have the answers.
Yay!
Here is an A+ student.
Love.
My name's Juliet. I'm an animator and I do used to sing and produce music. And I'm similar, like I used to hate being on stage. I always wanted visuals and I was like, I'm going to become an animator. So animators definitely do music.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've seen you a bunch of times, like we've spoken before about
Yeah.
how much I want to do it. So yeah, here I am.
Awesome. Oh, what a sweet group. Welcome, everyone. I'm hearing that, like, you know, we all have different mediums, a lot of music, a lot of Ableton, some Touch Designer. Is Touch Designer a video synth?
Basically.
Yeah, because it seems like you do the thing and then
Yeah,
the thing.
it's basically like your
Yeah, like a nodey one. But yeah, coming from all mediums and like, yeah, there's a curiosity to learn what this is and, you know, maybe use it, maybe not, but just see what's going on there. And there's different coding like abilities and things like that, which is so cool. I reckon I might send the slides to the group email. So for those that are like really comfortable with coding, you can go ahead and keep going down the steps if you would like. Otherwise, I'm just gonna do sort of like a walkthrough, step by step, and yeah, get you to like follow along with me. Yeah, for all levels, very welcome. But does that sound okay? Would people like the slide link? Okay, cool. Choose your own adventure kind of thing, you know what I mean? Oh wait, this is downloading Sonic Pi, hold on. I know how to use a computer, sometimes. Okay, so anyone copy? Is this everyone today? Okay, cool. The slides. Nice. Everyone got access to their email? Okay, I think that's it. Anyways, I'll get into it. So if you could open up Sonic Pi, does everyone have it on their computer? Anyone not have it? Okay, cool. You're getting it? Yeah. Okay, no stress. I'll just start the first bit. All good? Okay. So I'll just show you around the interface because it's pretty cool and it's really helpful actually. So, here, let me just start blank page. But this is it. This is Sonic Pi. You can change the view. I just like night mode, to be honest, but I think in preferences here, you can change things like light mode, pro dark, all the things. Is this visible for everyone? All good? Should I put up I can do bigger size as well. But yeah, this is the interface. So we got some buttons that do cool things up here. Your run button is sort of like your play button. So you type in some code, and once you want to submit it and once you want the computer to act on it, you click play. But I would recommend using a shortcut, which is Command R. What's the Windows version of Command? Anyone know this? Control. Okay, so Control Command for Windows people. Linux, I have no idea. Do you know, Tanika? Linux? Okay, anyways, but the vibes are Command R, okay? And everything will go pink, and it means I've run some code. So that one you'll use a lot. And then there's stop. So you want to stop all the sounds, and that is Command S. So R for run, S for stop. You can record. I'm sure there's a shortcut, but I don't know it. And once you come across like cool sounds, which we'll be experimenting with different sounds and making them from scratch and stuff, you can actually save it, and it saves as a text file. You can also just copy paste it into a Google Doc and paste the text back. It's code, so it's like really easy to save. And then you can load in saved files later, which is pretty cool. And also every time you close Sonic Pi and open it, you don't really need to save it because it just has things already there as you've left it last. So you've got different sheets. You just saw me move through them. Yours should be empty, I think. Is it empty when you open it? Yeah, cool. So we're just starting from a blank sheet. But I think the most helpful thing is literally the help. So this triangle in the top right, this is how I learned how to use this program. And look how nice it is. It says welcome friend. You know it's gonna be a good time. So yeah, this is literally the manual. Like it's if you have any issues. I use it every time I use Sonic Pi still, but I literally learned how to use Sonic Pi by reading through this tutorial. So there's different tabs down this bottom corner, and the first one is tutorial, and literally from start to finish, it's super, I feel, quite readable, and it should be accessible to people that have never coded before as well. And so this series, or like today, I'm just gonna go through some things inspired by this tutorial, but if you want to like read further and understand this program more thoroughly, I would recommend it. But also in here are examples. So if you wanna hear different examples of code, they start from apprentice level to wizard level to algomancer. You know some nerds wrote this shit. Magician, sorcerer, all this stuff. And you can load in examples by, oh well, that's really long. Let me use a short one. You just highlight it, Control C, like anything else, and Control V, copy paste it, and then Command R to run it. Whoa, that's loud. Okay, that's enough of that. Control S, stop that. But yeah, you can literally just play all of these samples, which is sick. And then here's your synths. So the list of every synth in this program exists here, and we'll get into it quite soon, but they all have different parameters or options. So you can fully sound design and make really cool things. You can record it, you can use it in Ableton, which I love doing. But yeah, it's a synthesizer as much as it's a thing to play around with and make music, or rhythms. And then you got some effects. Literally click on anything. The whole menu tells you what's up. There's inbuilt samples, inbuilt sounds, and you can play through them. Whoa. Damn. Whoa, that's a long one. But yeah, like you don't really need to leave the program, and this shit is free. And then lastly, there's language. So if there's any function at all that you want to know how to use a bit better, yeah, you just click on it and it tells you how to use it, and there's examples as well. So when all else fails, go to the help section. But I'll be here today, of course. There's a spectrum here, which just I find helpful to see that visual of when sound is being played. It should show you a little bing. Wait, let me do play 50. Whoa. So yeah, you saw the spectrum move. There's this log of what has run. So I just played a beep at value 50, and it's just telling me that, which is good if you need to go back and see like if something's gone wrong. It's really helpful to look at the log and be like, okay, this has happened, this has not happened, blah blah. And this cues is about live loops, which we'll get to sort of soon. But yeah, how are you feeling about that? Any questions about the interface? Yeah, bro. How crazy is that? They really set you up well. And you know, of course, you can go on YouTube. There's an online community called InThread, which is just like a forum. And yeah, like from time to time, I ask questions. A lot of people ask questions and help each other out. There's some definitely some helpful YouTube videos though. But mostly to learn the language, I literally just use this tutorial, which is really useful. And just practice and watch other people live code, which is helpful as well. But yeah, it's all here. Okay, so now has everyone got the program? How you going? Nice. Okay. So we'll make your first beep and bloop. Our first word is play. And what play is a function. So in computer programming, a function is sort of like a verb or a doing word, and it tells the computer to do something. So the computer sees play, and it knows that you're going to feed it some kind of parameter, some kind of argument, even a value, if you will, and that's going to tell it how to play. So let's start with typing into Sonic Pi, play, and any number. See what happens. Oh yeah, and then do Command R or click the play button to run this. Do we have any sounds? Okay. Let me know if you hear something. Oh yeah, there's some couple of spare ones. A couple have been taken. Ooh, love that. Oh yeah, okay, so it's worth saying that Sonic Pi is a very simple program. If you put in your headphones after you open the program, it will not compute that. So it'll just play out of your speaker. But if you want to use like your headphones, maybe close the program and then reopen it. Yeah, it's a little bit of, it's simple in that way, but love her. And that goes with all sound settings. So like even live, I use an interface, and like I constantly have to open and close the program to like follow the sound settings of my computer. So just good to note for future even. But did we get a sound?
No, I'm getting thread deaf.
Oh, sheesh. Oh, okay, so no capitals. That's another thing, all lowercase. Thread death, so dramatic. Yes, so dramatic. Love that. We got some sounds? Vibes. What do you notice with the sounds? Anything unusual? It only plays once. Nice. Yes, the numbers change in pitch. What's the difference? Like, how does it change? Lower number, lower pitch. Nice. Anything else? They play the same time, like same length of time? Yes, awesome. So it's currently playing for a second. And yes, the lower the number, the lower the pitch. The higher the number, the higher the pitch. Love. And if we put in 1,000, let's see what happens. Nothing, huh? Why could that be? Literally, our ears could never. Oh, true. Oh no. That's so real. Do you need me to turn anything down? Okay. No worries, let me know. But yeah, could you imagine? Nah, I wouldn't do that to you guys. You're so nice. So yeah, some of these super low pitches, 10. So 10 is actually showing something on our scale, but we can't hear anything. Why do you think that could be the case? It's too low, yeah, but some speakers can play it. You know, it's just the speakers on right here, they're not equipped for this bass. So it's like so slow of a waveform movement that the speaker literally cannot push it in the air, which is crazy. But yeah, I've been on certain sound systems. I'm sure a 10 could play. But yeah, no 10. And what happens if we do negatives? Oh, it has to be greater than 0. So that's something to note. You can only do positive values. Has anyone done a decimal? It's possible. So that's the other thing. Like, all of the numbers are continuous decimals, and even in Western, like the Western scales and music system is super limited, because other cultures have like notes between notes, and like semitones between semitones, and all the things. And so this program can actually do that. You can do any decimal that you want to. But do people know some music theory, like notes on a keyboard, nods? Cool. If you don't, that's all good. In Western music, there's like letters from C to B on a keyboard. And so you can actually type those in by using a colon, typing your note. So if you want to do a C, you can do a C, and then an octave. So you can just play around with what sounds good for you, but generally the middle of the keyboard is octave number 3. So C3 should just give us a middle C. Nice. And if you look at it, the cue, it tells us that this note is actually equivalent to number 48. So those numbers sort of mean something, and you can map them to like Western notes if you'd like. But no stress, you don't actually need to know any theory for this. You can just put in some numbers. Yeah.
What's the relationship between the notes and like hertz? Is there like a
Great question. You know what I reckon? I think that the notes. Well, let's go to the language. See, I use this thing every day. Where is P on the alphabet? Oh yeah, nice. Okay, so I think the notes are in MIDI. Let's see. Amp. Anyways, I'm pretty sure it's MIDI. So what I do is like MIDI to Hertz. What's it? Conversion chart. Yeah. Does that do something? Let's see. So C3 is, where is it? Oh yeah. So C3 is 48 in MIDI, and then it's like allegedly 130 in Hertz. Yeah. It's weird. It does use MIDI notes as the numbers. I'm not sure why they chose that, but it is what it is. Huh? Oh yeah, true. Okay. That's real. But then these two are 48 and they're different. I don't know. Couldn't tell you. But yeah, so there is some conversion to Hertz. Yeah. I saw a question up here.
Are you able to specify your note in hertz as opposed to
Oh, potentially. I reckon there might be a function in there. I'm not sure though. Maybe if you go to language and try and look through if there's a Hertz function. Oh yeah, Hertz to MIDI. There we go. So you can Hertz to MIDI. So you probably put in your Hertz frequency here, and then it will convert it to MIDI for you. Here it is. So it's another function, and you put your frequency in brackets, and then it spits out a MIDI. Yeah. But maybe I'll do the closest. So if we want to do C3 hertz to MIDI, I don't know, what was it? Let's see what C3 was. C3 is 130. Oops. Okay. So let's see if that does anything. Yeah, nice. So it played the note 47 point da la la la, but basically 48. So you can use that.
Specifically what? 440. Like I know I like fundamental frequency at 30.
Oh yeah, 440. There it is. Yeah. There you go. And we can get into that a bit later, but there's different scaling systems that you can use in this that are non-Western as well, and different, what's it called, tunings as well. So yeah, it's literally, whatever you're looking for, you can make happen. Okay, so we all got sounds. Well done, your first line of code. Oh. So good. Okay, moving on. Where are we? Here. So basically that. You've noticed all the things. There's some notes you can't hear because your ear can't hear them or the speakers can't produce them. And someone said the duration of the sound is the same each time, which is really big because if you want to change the duration, let's do something. So this is a bit of sound synthesis theory, just a quick, thing, because all of the terms used in this program really are also used in sound synthesis. Has anyone seen this chart before? Has anyone heard attack release? I see some notes. Anyone hasn't seen this before? That's okay, no worries. So quick, and I might explain it wrong, but it is what it is. But, oh yeah, Neil knows about this. Yeah, cool. So here's your guy. So I won't make you do it, I'll do it. But this play function, it has different options. And options are like things you feed it that can change its behavior. So if we want to change the duration of a note, we might put in the option called attack or release. And so what these words mean and describe is how a sound changes over time. And if you look at this graph, the amplitude is basically the volume, and on this side it's like time. And so attack means how long, maybe in seconds, do you want the sound to fade in for? And then let's go to release and forget these two for a second. Release is sort of how long in seconds you want the sound to fade out for. And in traditional like sound synthesis stuff, you might like press a key on a keyboard, and then the release is when you like take your finger off the keyboard and the sound keeps going. So how long do you want that sound to keep going for? And basically with those two, you can mold some longer sounds that sound pretty cool and have a shape. So why don't you try it? I'll show you the syntax real quick, which is sort of like the grammar. So we have play. I'm going to put just like 50, and then you do a comma separation, and then you can start feeding it things. And already Sonic Pi is suggesting things to me, so I don't have to type it out. And I can just do a down arrow and like highlight attack and click enter. Nice, that saved me some time. So if I say like attack 2 seconds and then comma again, I can add another one, release. There we go. I can also just click, do tab on my keyboard to fill it out. Then I'll do release like 4 seconds. So I'm gonna run that, Command R. Nice. So what happened there was it faded in for 2 seconds before it had max volume, and then it faded out for 4 seconds. So yeah, try that. You can do them in any order that you want, and you can even use some of these other options on the slide. You can even change the volume, amplitude, so with amp. Generally 0 to 1 is good, but if you want it louder, above 1 is a vibe. But in sound synthesis world, this is called an AR or an ADSR envelope. So yeah, have a go. Let me know if you have questions. And yeah. Did you hear some things? Yeah, nice. Did you hear what you expected? Okay, cool. It's about 8 o'clock. Let me know if you'd like a break now or in like 15. All right, hands up for a break right now. Hands up for a break in 15. Okay. We might push on, but you're allowed out of this room if you need. I will not keep you. Okay. So we're going to push on. Does everyone have a sound with a different length than the original? Yeah, fucking earth. Shall we push on? That is it. All right, now you're ready to change the sound. I don't know about you, but like a beep is not super fun. But if you're wondering what that beep even is, it is a sine wave, which is like the most basic wave in music. So it's this one. And there's all these other waves, and when you combine them in different combinations, you get different synthesizers. And so your new word is use synth. So you can copy paste this, but if I want to change the sound now, I type in use synth and then a colon to start naming something, and you have this whole list. So you can do down arrow. I like dark ambience, to be honest. I don't know what that says about me, but so let's see what that sounds like. Cool. So that's another synth sound. So if you look into this directory, you have all the synths. And if I wanted to look into dark ambience, I click on it. And here are all the options. So there's options or different behaviors you can feed to this synth, and they can be quite unique to each synth. So I would recommend looking at the name and then see what you can do with it. So I can change the room size, which is about how the sound feels or the effect of the sound in a room. So you can click on room, and it will take you down here, and it tells you like what the max is, what the minimum, blah blah. But yeah, play around with adding different options, and you're literally doing sound synthesis, which is crazy. But yeah, if you want to do like room here, these values as well, this is like the default. So it's already on like 70 or whatever. So you can make it like 100. It's got a different quality. But yeah, I'm just going to give you like some time to go through a synth that you like and do some sound synthesis. Change some values, do some things. No. Yeah, so this is previewing, typing it out. Yeah. But yeah, no, you actually can't. Huh? Yeah.
You actually will listen to it often anyways, when you have it reviewed,
Exactly, exactly. And it forces you to like try and mold it. Because what you actually hear first, you can radically change that sound by changing, like, I don't know, what's this say? Curve, like the envelope curve, for example. So you can actually do a lot with each synth. So yeah, have a go. Find a sound that you really like. We might use it in the next bit. Oh, spoiler. But yeah, as well, if you want to take a break now, it's so chill. Let me know if you have questions. I'll walk around and stuff. Okay, welcome back. I might skip forward because peeps are already making compositions. Amazing. Love that. So there are some more exercises in here. Next up was like making some drone music. And you can sort of do that by using what you already have. Pick a synth. I'll just quickly demonstrate it, but I'll leave it to you as an option later. So if I copy this into here, I'll get rid of this. If you delete it, it's gone forever. Someone has learned over there. But if I run this, and notice that I have a really long release, so it goes on for ages. And I can just do 60 plus 20. I could have put in 80, but you can get the computer to calculate whatever you want for you. So I'm going to do 60 minus 20. And it sort of plays on top of what I already have. And then I can change things. So yeah, you're doing like a live drum. Okay, I'll stop that now. But yeah, basically with all the tools you have now, you can just run things, and then when you run again, it will run another thread on top of the thing, and it won't stop the thing prior. So using that kind of layering capability, you can keep going and make some drone music. So that's something for you later. But might move on. Something quite important in music and making melodies is sleep or rest. So there's a function called sleep, and this inputs time or a pause. So if you want things to start at different times, let's do a little copy paste. You use sleep. Here it is. Okay. So if I did this, like play 50 and then play 70 and then, yeah, what do we think will happen when we run this? Yeah, exactly. So it happens at exactly the same time, which is cool if you want that. You can make a chord, you could do whatever. Whoa, so loud. But if you want them to be spaced out, you add a function called sleep. And this just means rest. So sleep for 5 seconds. Okay, there we go. So it played the first thing and then it slept for 5 seconds, played the second thing. Something to note here is that play and sleep are triggered at exactly the same time. And then, so yeah, it's triggered at the same time because like if it waits for this to be done, for example, like if we do release 2 seconds, if it waited like that 2 seconds and then it slept for 5 seconds, blah, 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 I don't know, removing, like, you know, reducing this to release 1 second, that can just change your whole composition. You know what I mean? And then you'd have to change everything else under. It's got a flow-on effect. But yeah, just know that these are triggered at the same time, and then the other one's triggered. Cool. So that's sleep. Let's see. How are we feeling? Good? Vibey? Shall we move on? Shall we have a break? Yes. You can add like sleep before things. Yeah, so if you do want to delay everything by a second, like you could do sleep anywhere, like here. So it waits a second and then it does the thing. I'm just going to stop it before it does the whole thing. Yeah. I'm sure there's another way in there. I'll have to advise the manual. Any other questions? Cool. Maybe I'll just quickly run through some other cool things you can look at, and then you can just start making your own songs, to be honest. Play around, and then we'll wrap up. So a couple more cool things are algorithms. So I walked around and I saw people write a lot of beautiful lines of code. But computer programmers are lazy, man. They like to simplify this with something called an algorithm. And music has a lot of repeating sections. You know, there's a verse, there's a chorus that happens multiple times, all the things. To just, you know, reduce some of that typing time, you can combine this into an algorithm here. So your first algorithm is X times do. That's what I'll call it. So I'll just highlight this. But basically, you can write like, I don't know, a few lines of code. It might play some things, it might sleep a little bit, and you might repeat it later because the melody repeats later. And if you want it to repeat 3 times, then you wrap this group of code, or also called a block of code, in this function or algorithm. And so this is the syntax. I will just copy this and paste it here. You can do Control M to make it indented nicely, but it will still work. So I just did that, and then Control R. So yeah, that just repeated 3 times. You can even do something called nesting, and you could do another loop within this. So every time you want it to do another 2 times of something else. As long as you wrap it and you make sure that each do has its own end, then you're sweet. So let's do a play C3 and then sleep for 2. Okay, so you have a melody. You can play around with that and get interesting results. Nice. What else? Okay, sampling. Sampling is such a huge thing in music, and with my own live performances, I use a lot of samples. I have my own samples, but I also use the inbuilt. And with your own samples, you can literally drag and drop from your browser. So I'll quickly show you how to do that if you have samples on your laptop. So I'll go to desktop. Here are some random samples. I'll just do literally a drag and drop into the window. Whoa, cool. The whole path is there. And you can just name it something. So I'll just name it CM or something equals. So now you have a sample in the window. And then later on, if you want to make a loop, oh, I haven't shown you a live loop yet, but pretend I have. Oh, yeah, actually, no. I'll just show you the sample function. Instead of play, type sample if you want to play a sample. And then you just type the name of your sample, so CM, which I've already named it. I'm going to comment everything else here. Commenting out just sort of like deactivates it. And the shortcut is Command /. Anyways, let me just show you this sample. So that's just playing a sample from my computer. And again, in the tutorial or booklet, if you go to the language and sample, so sample, here we go. Damn, there's a lot of words. You have all the options here, so you can change where the sample starts or finishes, how you chop it up, how you stretch it, the rate, so you can reverse it by doing negative numbers. I like a little reverse. You can slice it up and randomize how you play them. I love working with that. So that's samples. Yeah. I don't want to overwhelm you, but I think lastly, live looping is the whole thing. Like all of my music live is built from live loops. So if you want to repeat sections an infinite amount of times until you tell them to stop, this is how I organize my music. So one live loop might be a melody from a synth. So you could do that today. Make a little melody line with a synth sound that you really like and putting in some sleeps in there. Or another live loop might be like a percussion pattern, you know, with sleeps in the amount of time intervals that you need. And you can change it live. Another live loop might be samples. So you might like flip it, reverse it. No. Yeah, it might be like working with samples, randomizing the playback, that kind of thing. But remember, quick last thing is you need to sync these live loops because otherwise they happen, you know, sort of at the same time. All of the live loops will happen at the same time, or they'll happen slightly off, and it's just not very musical. Unless you're going for that experimental thing, good for you. But if you want to sync them, go to this slide and it can show you how. But yeah, I'm just going to give you some time to play around with some things. Make your own musical composition. You can use live loops or inbuilt samples. And I'll just walk around and help you out if you need. But we might wrap up in like 15. How you feel about that? Yes, nice. Okay, I'll see you soon. But yeah, exactly how you said it. Like I might set out different songs on different tabs, and I have little live loops called metronomes, and that can just I can sync heaps of live loops to that, so it keeps them at least in the same beat. And yeah, like I can run something. Let's see if this works. sample. But yeah, so that's how I sort of go across, like, that's how I organize it, my songs, and yeah, bring things in and out. But yeah, sometimes you do have to go back to like sheet one and turn off the forest real quick, you know what I mean? Because it will just keep playing until you stop it. Yeah, any other questions? Yeah.
How are you using that with Ableton? Like, what is the structure of coding that and adding Ableton into it?
Yeah, good question. So a big limitation of Sonic Pi is that you can't mix. And so, you know, that's cool, like it can be underground and raw and stuff, but sometimes you do want a bit of control over the mix. So I'll show you my Ableton project for live performances. So it's this one. And this came more recently, like I didn't know how to do it for a minute. But basically, there's a function in Sonic Pi called, oh, here it is. So there's a function in Sonic Pi called sound out, and you can send the sound of this live loop, for example, to output number 3. And I got this external app called Black Hole. Has anyone heard of Black Hole? Yeah, so it's basically like an audio router. So it routes audio within programs, like between programs in your laptop. So Black Hole has 16 channels, and so it's listening to Sonic Pi, and then I go in Ableton in my preferences. Oh, where's Ableton? Here she is. Oh damn, my computer needs an update, bruh. It's just struggling. Oh, it's not good. But basically, in Ableton, I'll set it to Black Hole, where it's listening, and then I'll have like 16 channels set up, and for example, this sound, output 3 will go to like channel number 3 in Ableton. And yeah, I'll just see the sound coming in there. I can put an EQ on it. I can map it to my MIDI knobs and like change the filters and stuff. So it just makes sound better and a bit cleaner. And I can run my vocals through there as well, and it can help with feedback, I think, because you can run vocals through Sonic Pi and get some really interesting effects. But I've had issues with feedback and not being able to like notch out certain frequencies in different venues. So Ableton's just a bit better for that, to be honest. Yeah. But all the sound is still created here, but I'm just like pushing it to Ableton first. Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah. Well, that's a good question. I think there's like, let's see, I think it's called scale or tuning, send tuning. I'll find it for you and I'll send it over. Oh yeah, with tuning, for example, you could do an equal temperament or a just temperament. I forgot which one's the Western one, but one of them is. So you can use that as a function and like wrap some code around it. I'm pretty sure the scale SC. Oh yeah. Scale names, I think. Prints a list of all the scales. Let's see. I'll do it here. Mm-hmm. Where are the scale names? I'll find out and I'll email you. But there's a way. Nice. Any other cues? Okay, all good. Well, we might wrap up. Hey, there's a little bit of time left, so if you do want to ask any questions, feel free to. But yeah, maybe I'll do a quick wrap around, like how people's feeling about live coding now. Do you like it? Do you despise it? You know, what's the vibes? Tell me.
It's fun.
Okay, I like it. It's fun. Yay! Nice. Does anyone see themselves like, using it with one of the things they already use? That kind of thing? I see some nods. Yeah?
Yeah, I've been messing with Raspberry Pis. He's actually going to run Raspberry Pi with me a week.
Yeah.
It's
Nice.
kind of portable lesson for something.
Exactly. So, for people that don't know what a Raspberry Pi is, do you want to describe that, Max?
So basically just like a microcomputer about, I don't know, that big. You can plug pretty much an entire laptop's worth of stuff in it, and they cost, like, pretty cheap, like under a couple $100.
Yeah.
Less.
So cool.
You can run them off a battery, like a USB battery.
Yeah, and Raspberry Pis are like really good for installations and stuff. So, yeah, you could do a lot. Nice. Anything else that people want to integrate it with? Oh, good. Nice. Well, that's about it. If you have any burning questions, let me know. I think my email is somewhere.
Yeah, I have the email group, but
Yeah.
not everyone really is into emails. I'm wondering if people are interested in like a WhatsApp group or anything like that. What do you think? If people are interested in remaining in touch, because this is a good group of people who are new to it, so it's kind of nice to have other people who are at a similar level.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you are interested in a WhatsApp group, maybe get the mobile numbers if people feel comfortable to share.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'll make one now.
Nice.
I'll just get people's number. Yeah, if you want to, no pressure.
Yeah, no pressure. And yeah, like live coding is such a new thing. Like it would be so nice to have a community here and grow that community. So if you are genuinely interested in like deepening this practice, getting into it, let me know, maybe we'll do meetups in the future. I don't know, some nerdy shit will happen. But let me know if you're interested. I'm so keen to have more people, to like share stuff with and, do nerdy shit with. So yeah, let me know. Thank you so much for. Oh yeah, no.
When's your next show?
Oh, that's so nice. I'm playing Sonda this weekend on the Saturday, and then I have an EP launch actually. So if you're around, come to that at East Mint in Northcote, and it'll be really nice to. Yeah, actually just like formally launch my live coded EP, Technofro 185. But yeah, that's on the 25th of April. And yeah, maybe Neil can send that around if you want. Nice, shameless plug, thank you. Thank you everyone, thanks for coming.